Hello, this is Matthew Miller from the Nokia Expert site, bringing to you a new phone from a US carrier, and I'm pretty excited about this actually. I've been a T-Mobile customer for getting close to 10 years now, and it's been pretty rare to actually have some nice Nokia phones that are supported directly by the carrier. Lately, we've seen the AT&T Nokia E71X, which was a decent device, and I was pretty excited about it. It had nice hardware. This is an unlocked Nokia E71. It was much like this, except for, unfortunately, AT&T took some liberties with it and really kind of hampered the device. This one here is an unlocked E71, and my wife, it's her primary phone. This is a very nice device, and actually works out in the envy and better than the E71X because of so much was locked down. Now what we have is the T-Mobile E73 Mode, which is very similar to the Nokia E72 in almost all respects. So first we're going to take a look around the hardware, and I'm going to compare it with an E73 and an E71. And as you can see, first, the keyboard is slightly different. The keyboard on the E73 is a bit curved to kind of fit your hand as you type. The keys are about the same size, and they have the same nice feel to them. They have a really well laid out keyboard though. We've got a shift here, we've got a symbol key with Bluetooth as well, an @ I like this torch, which is like a flashlight. You press and hold that. I actually used it in the shipyard the other day. Nice to see a control key for copy paste and things like that. We've got, a question mark, period, all the standard comma, all the standard keys with a single press, and then a press and a hold on this device will enter the alternate key, which is very nice to see. So it's a well laid out keyboard. We can see here the buttons are different, and we see they're actually more of a, rather than buttons, individual buttons like we see on the E71, here we see they're kind of just a bar and with areas. And then we've got a trackpad in the middle that's about the same. This one can actually be an optical trackpad here. You can turn on and off. Screen is the same. It's the 2.4-inch 320 by 240, which is the one thing that I really wish was higher resolution. Unfortunately, it isn't on this device, and I don't know if it's has to do with S60 3rd edition being a limitation or what the deal is. I would personally like to see a little bit higher resolution. That would be a perfect device. But the hardware is still fantastic, about the same size as far as width, depth, all that kind of thing. As you can see here, okay. And then if we looked on the left sides, we see that there are both the Microsd slot and the micro USB. There's no infrared like there is on the E71. However, this micro USB can be used for charging, which is a nice feature. On the bottom, we used to have a 2.5mm headset jack. On the E73, we have nothing. On the right side, we've got nice volume buttons on the E73 with a center. On T-Mobile, it's not a push to talk, it's a voice dialing button, which is handy to have. And on the top, we see the E73 Mode has a standard 3.5mm headset jack and the power button. And here we had the speaker and the power button. On the back, we can see they had that nice metal back plate, and underneath is still the same 1500 milliampere battery, and I've seen at least a couple days before the battery runs out. We've got a 5-megapixel camera versus a 3.2, and there's the speaker grill there. One thing that's really nice about the E73 is the plastics that's used around the edges here is kind of a matte finish plastic, but it feels like a very durable hard plastic, and it still has that fantastic feel to the metal parts of it and the keyboard. I really like this phone, and surprisingly, it's only $69.99 with your contract, so I'm buying one no matter what. I love the E71. E73 takes it to the next level with actually more memory as well, 250 internal. It's got that 5-megapixel camera, the optical keypad there. Of course, it has GPS with OV Maps, and now the free turn-by-turn and Lonely Planet city guides. It has also the OV Store with T-Mobile billing built into it, which is nice. And another great feature with a T-Mobile customer is it has the UMA. So it has support for making calls via the T-Mobile network via a Wi-Fi connection. Now, I'm not quite sure if that plan is still available to be able to make unlimited calls via Wi-Fi, but it's still nice if you're in your house or somewhere where you may have a weak T-Mobile signal. You can use Wi-Fi and it will use your minutes to make those calls, so you can always get a strong connection pretty much wherever you are. And as I said, it's extremely thin. So that's the hardware. I'll just take a quick look at the software here. So let me just get a little closer. The one thing about the E73 and the E71 was it was very focused on messaging and managing your work and life and things like that. As you can see, it has the way to switch modes. If we push the menu, there's the default layouts. I haven't really customized this one very much. We see there's visual voicemail is supported. All the media that you're come to know and love, of course, are in there. FM radio podcasting. One thing that was missing from, I believe the E71X did not have that, and that's a big application that I use all the time. We have our control panel. I'll just kind of browse through some of these, but as you can see, there was not much additional on here. It's pretty much the default Nokia stuff. Multi-scanner is nice. I took a photo of a business card and converted it into a contact. Quick Office is the full suite, so you can actually create new documents on it. There's some enterprise applications. This is a very enterprise-focused device. And then we go into applications here. These are actually the MySpace, Twitter, and Facebook are actually just hyperlinks to the web. And this IM is the T-Mobile's version. I believe it was powered by Oz. It actually uses your powered by Oz. It actually uses your text messaging to do the instant messaging, which with unlimited text messaging is a nice feature to have. And for my wife, she could use it because she doesn't have data. The one thing that you will find loaded by T-Mobile is the games, and you'll see there are some sample games here: Guitar Hero, Sims 3, Pac-Man. I'll run through these and see how much they're priced, and I'll put that on in the review. YouTube client, OV Maps, and then I've loaded some of my own: Google Maps, Gravity, of course, Skyfire. So far, I found it to be very responsive. Again, the notifications at the bottom when the messages come in is fantastic. It's just a very solid phone, and it's been a pleasure to go back to using this E73 mode. Just because, you know, the messaging is excellent, and it's a real pleasure. The one thing, again, like I said, is that the screen resolution bothers me a bit after being on some of these super high resolution screens, but the functionality of it is just fantastic. I mean, look how thin that is. It feels great in your hand. $70, you can't pass it up. So that's a quick look at the Nokia E73 Mode on T-Mobile USA.